That growing feeling of overwhelm, exhaustion, anxiety, that feeling of being mentally scattered all the time, that really is your body trying to tell you something. So let's talk about it. Before we even start to hit chronic diseases like type 2 diabetes, hypertension, and even things like chronic fatigue, our body actually sends us messages and warning signs to let us know there's something going on and we need to change. Most of these diseases are often what we call lifestyle diseases. So they're things that are made from the choices that we make day in and day out. And some of those messages that your body's trying to tell you can often present in feelings of anxiety. It can often look like brain fog, difficulty concentrating, overwhelm, exhaustion. It can even start to cause things like insulin resistance or even flares of existing autoimmune conditions. All of this is really your body's way of telling you you've got to change, you've got to make some changes to your daily routines, you got to make some changes to your lifestyle. I have a classic example of this myself. When I was going through my residency, my eczema absolutely exploded. It went all over my face, like even my eyelids were flaking. I'll leave a picture and I'll post a link to the video where I go into more detail talking about my experience. But this was literally my body trying to tell me, hey, you are super stressed out and what you're doing is not working. And if you don't stop, you are going to hit burnout and eventually develop some other issues. In that case, even knowing better, I went to the dermatologist. They gave me a steroid cream. They sent me on my way. I asked them about, is it something with my nutrition? Could it be something lifestyle related? They're like, no, it's probably just you're allergic to something in your shampoo. So they sent me for patch testing. They took a sample, like a skin biopsy, all this stuff, only to give me a very expensive steroid cream that worked while I was applying it. But as soon as I stopped applying it, which I couldn't keep applying it because apparently will damage your skin. But as soon as I stopped applying it, the rash came back. Surprise, surprise. And really, it was because I hadn't changed anything. What I ended up doing was actually using the principles of the medicine that I practice day in and day out. I looked at my mindset. I looked at my nutrition. I looked at my sleep or lack thereof and my lack of exercise and decided that I needed to overhaul that. And it had dramatic results. Once I got that in gear, my rash went away and I haven't had a problem with it since. So I share this to say I'm guilty as well. We often want a quick fix. We often want the medication. We often want the herb. We often want, the supplement or whatever that external option is because it's easy. And it's a little bit more difficult to actually look at our choices that we've been making and make changes to those. Believe me, I totally understand this and I can see it in, not only my clients, but my most popular videos on this channel are really about single herbs and their uses. So we're all out there kind of looking for the answers. And what I really want you to know or really to take away is that most of the time you really got to go back to the basics and you got to focus on inside and what you are doing, how you're feeling about things, what you're intaking, and how you are treating your body and your mind. So I want to share with you and empower you to know that you can go back to the basics to really get a great start on really starting to listen to your body and starting to make some changes. And those 4 basics are the pillars I talk about constantly. They are mindset. So thinking about, the thoughts that are running through your head rent-free day in, day out, time after time that are only fueling more anxiety, more negativity. So looking at that and working with things like meditation to interrupt that pattern, things like mindfulness to really get you back into a parasympathetic nervous state, and figuring out ways in which to do that and ways in which to incorporate that into your daily life. Looking at your nutrition. Again, we all want to take the herb or the supplement or the medication, but a lot of times we can't even absorb it or break it down because our GI system is so out of whack because of the chronic stress. So again, dialing in your nutrition, really making sure that you're eating properly to fuel your body, to fuel your brain. And again, making sure that you can even absorb that and making sure your GI system is really on point to kind of withstand that as well. The third principle really is your exercise. You have to be moving your body. You have to be maintaining your muscle mass. You have to be working towards maintaining your muscle mass or building that. A lot of times I see in my inpatient population is that A lot of times we have a lot of pain and a lot of dysfunction because we don't move. It's not necessarily because we're getting older. It's because we're sitting all the time. We're literally sitting on our butts watching Netflix, and we're not addressing basic functions of our body, and we're not addressing its basic needs, and that it needs to be challenged. It needs to undergo some sort of resistance. We need to make sure we're conditioning our cardiovascular system. All these things are so important, and they're so basic, and we all know them, but a lot of times we just don't know how to implement them. And that's really one of the things that I do inside of my coaching practice, the Better Health Blueprint. So if you're having trouble with any of this, you can click on the link down in the description box. You can learn how to work with me if any of this is resonating with you. And the final aspect final pillar that we really need to focus in on is our sleep. If we are not sleeping, we are not recovering. If you are not going through all the necessary stages of sleep, both REM and non-REM, if you are not getting good quality sleep, then how could you actually expect to recover? Your sleep can impact so many things, like from your memory to your ability to learn something new, to your ability to recall. It can affect, how well your muscles recover. It can affect your pain levels and how you perceive pain. So making sure that all these things, or all these pillars, are addressed, and that you're working to create a routine that actually works for you, and working to really focus on that self-care and focus on these aspects. It takes time, and sometimes it takes a little bit of guidance, but really going back to the basics, and then you can add on the herbs, you can add on the supplements. Of course, you can add on your in-office treatments, but if you're not addressing these basics, you're really doing yourself a disservice. So again, if any of this is sounding familiar and sounds like something that you need help with and need some guidance with on how to build these routines, how to know what to eat, how to know how to exercise, what's right for you, how to know how to troubleshoot your sleep, and how to meditate, what is meditation? These are all things that I work with inside of my coaching program, the Better Health Blueprint. So if you'd like to learn more about that, click on the link down in the description box and you can learn how to work with me. All right, I hope that this video was helpful. If you have any questions, leave them down below. Otherwise, I will see you in the next video.